Hey everybody, David Skricky here. It's always like put this on. So I think I've said this, I've shown you this in the past. My neighbor, beautiful day here, nice little breeze. I know some people always ask me about hurricanes. There's that big hurricane, but that's in the South Caribbean. It's headed for Jamaica. So people have to understand the Caribbean is huge. And actually the Bahamas is more like in the Southeast Atlantic than it is the Caribbean, you know? So, or sorry, Southwest Atlantic. People have to understand that. So that's my neighbor. I think I've mentioned this story in the past. He is a sax player. He's in his mid-70s, and he was in these bands that kind of almost made it. And he's Australian, so he used to open for like Night Oil and In Excess. Were actually two of my favorite bands in the kind of like the early 80s when those bands were like up and coming and stuff. He's told me some of the stories. Then he moved to London, and like I said, he was in these bands that like had a couple like mid-tier hits, but just couldn't quite make it. Anyhow, today's stock chart of the day, on this beautiful day, sorry, just having some Perrier, is today's stock chart of the day is, we're looking at the number of stocks that are outperforming the index. It's an interesting chart. I found it on, so if you have to go to addictedtoprofits.net to see it, because I'm doing this here, but I'll put the link to the website link underneath this. So it just shows the number of stocks outperforming the index in the S&P, and it's near an all-time low. I think it's like 25 stocks, so basically 5%. And the last time it was this low, actually this is the all-time low, but when it was close to being this low was 2000 or 99 during the tech bubble, and of course 2000 was the tech bust. So when you get reduced, and the number of stocks over moving averages has been declining. So when breadth starts to deteriorate like this, it's usually a serious sign that you're in some kind of topping formation for the market. I originally actually was going to do a Canada theme because yesterday was Canada Day, but what I'll do is tomorrow, July 3rd, I'll do a Canada theme, and July 4th, I'll do a US theme for Independence Day. So right now, just so you know, I'm editing my book. This book has been, believe it or not, 5 years in the making. I first wrote it in 2019, then had to change it when everything happened because of COVID and all the money printing. And then my consulting business, with mining stocks was doing very well from 2020 into 2021. So, and I never got an advance on the book or anything. So it's like, I kind of just been, I even paid out of pocket for some editing and research and stuff for it. So it's been something that hasn't been on top of my priority list, but it's set to be debuted this December. So I really want to get the final edit done. And this is a good week for it because, again, because of Canada Day, because of Independence Day being Thursday, kind of a slow week in the markets, right? So I really want to get this thing done sooner rather than later. So anyhow, but yeah, again, today's theme, this is not going to be that long of a video. Again, it is kind of a short week, but yeah, just that's a really interesting chart that virtually this whole rally just being driven, by a very few number of stocks, the lowest ever in the history of the S&P 500. So probably just a sign that, again, that we are getting into the latter stages of this. And of course, I've talked all along about one of these summer blow-offs and maybe a fall crash or a fall correction. Those are, or maybe we get a summer correction like 2011 or 2015, something like that. So it's just something to keep in mind here in the coming days, etc. So I'm just going to leave it on that. Like I said, a beautiful day here, a nice breeze, a little muggy. It's starting to. It's a rainy season. Rainy season really starts in May, ends in October. Of course, that's hurricane season as well. And let's give some prayers out to people. Jamaica and Grenada got hit pretty hard too, because I've been through hurricanes. The ones I were through were kind of like Cat 3s. But I saw a Cat 4 or 5. That's dangerous stuff. And I know the stories. Hurricane Andrew hit this town I live in here in 1992, I think it was, and decimated it. So I know the crazy stories. Like, I had a Cat 5 here. My house is pretty well built. I've survived, like I said, 2 hurricanes here in it. But like I said, they were Cat 3s. A Cat 5, I don't know if I would be here. My buddy's got this house is like a fortress down the road. I think I'd probably go stay at his house. So everybody take care, and I hope you enjoyed the stock chart of the day.